joining us tonight as always. And Austin, thanks for being here. Juan, Zana, Jerome. First item on the agenda is for the approval of minutes for the public hearing held February 13th, 2023.
I'll move that we approve those minutes.
I'll second it.
No motion and second to approve the minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item is to approve the minutes from the council meeting held February the 13th, 2023. I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Second.
A motion and second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, item number 2 is to receive the 2021-2022 audit report from Terry and King CPAs. I'll turn that over to you guys.
All right. Do I stand there? What is it?
Up to you, whatever you guys are comfortable with, we're good with.
You don't have to. I can't remember. This is the second time, but I can't remember what I did last time. We got wheels on it too. It's the little things. We really enjoy working for y'all. We appreciate it so much. And your staff, Ramon and Zana, and everyone here, all the girls were so helpful. You know, it's a joy to come and do this kind of work. That's kind of an oxymoron. It's when your staff is doing you a good job like they do, and we see what y'all are doing with the city resources, the resources of the taxpayers. When you're doing a good job, it just makes our job easy, I guess is what I should say. I'll go through this real quickly, because no one likes to sit and listen to accountants talk, not even their wives. On page 2, in the first part of this, we got a letter from us to you that just says we have performed an audit on these financial statements, and they present fairly the financial position and the results of operations of the city of Muleshoe. With no exceptions, this is a clean opinion, so everything looks great. Following that, we got the management's discussion and analysis. It's a different format, really just in financial statements. It's talking about parts of the finances, but in more of a form of, I don't know the word I'm looking for, Ryan. But on page 8, table A1, we do have some stuff in here, some tables that we can look at. You see that's kind of tiny, but it's comparative. Now this has got adjustments for the retirement plan and everything like we're supposed to do in there. But we can look and you can see cash is up quite a bit overall. Over on the right-hand side, you've got the total primary government. You're up from $4,003,000 to $5,004,000. Total assets are up from $4,009,000, or total current assets up from $4,981,000 to $6,000,000. Overall, the total assets are up from $16,900,000 to $17,900,000. So we can see right here there's an increase in your resources. And on page 9, we've got the changes in that position. You can see there overall charges for services, general revenues, property taxes, the changes in those. You can see revenues are up about 10%, expenses are only up about 4%. So you got an increase in net position by $931,000. Now that's where we have some comparative issues again, what's called the management's discussion and analysis. But the basic financials start on page 14. The first part of that, the net position, that's the balance sheet, as we say, with all of your statements together, the government activities, the business activities. Government, of course, being your streets, your public safety, all of what the taxpayers have for services, and then the business type activities being your utilities side of your system. So we're looking at the same thing, total assets, 17,984,000, liabilities, 5,775,000, deferred inflows from resources, that has to do with lease income, grant funds, those type of things. And then the net position, you see 10,759,000. And then the exhibit B1 on the next page has your expenses and revenues in a little different format, but you see the increase there, total increase, 931 that we already looked at. What I like to do, and y'all can stop me at any time, ask questions, but if we'll go to page 18, when we look at cities, municipalities, you've got two sides. You've got, as I said, streets, administration, public safety, those type of things that are paid for with taxes. And then you've got the utility side. Now, the government side of that is typically shown in a cash in, cash out, or fund statement. That's what we have here. So you can see total revenues, cash revenues, $4,027,000, expenditures of $3,908,771, transfers in $357,000. So an increase in fund balance, which in this case with fund statements is basically an increase in cash of $475,000. Now, we've already talked about water and sewer, the proprietary side, and we've got on page 21 the revenues and expenses of that, which include the adjustments for depreciation and retirement liabilities. But on this, you see the increase or the change in that position, $380,000, with our operating revenues of $1.8 million, expenses of $1.3 million, transfers out, still changing that position. But cash-wise, on the next page, we can take that on page 22 and see receipts from customers, payments to suppliers, payments to employees. So net cash provided by the utility side is $798,000. That transfers to the tax side, $357,000. Acquisition of fixed assets. Total net cash, a little bit of a decrease in that area, but total increase in net cash is 103. So if you look at page 22, that 103, and then the increase that we saw in the fund statements of, that was on 18, on 475, you see there, $600,000 increase in cash, which coincides with what we looked at on that table A1. Any questions? Zana, is there anything that I need to be saying right now? Okay. Other than all y'all are great. Following that, we start the notes, and it talks about your accounting policies. That goes on for quite some time. A lot of good information, but a lot of it is boilerplate. We do get into talking about on 33 deposits, investments. If you looked at, make sure that you're covered and that your depository is doing what they should. We talk about leases receivable on page 35 and some adjustments to that. Capital assets on 36. A detail there. You got total capital assets of the government side, $11,922,000, added $249,143 in infrastructure, streets, roads, buildings and improvements, $77,949. That had to do with the parks, the lighting, and 27 was refurbished on a truck. The water side, you got $358,000 added to the water system, but how much of that came from CDBG grant?
About $280,000.
$280,000 that was grant money. long-term obligations, on page 39, just talking about the refunding bonds, revenue certificate bonds. On 40, there's a detail of that. You started out with total, of course, we're including the net pension liability. Again, that's just accounting. It's not, we have a liability offset by an asset. It has to do with the Texas municipal deal. We have to put it in there, but it's rules that were put in not because of us here in Texas, but because of places elsewhere, like California, where they didn't pay their retirement, so we had to record it. It doesn't affect you in any way, but it is listed here. You can see in your total, if you take the $3.5 million and take out the net pension liability, what you're looking at, and the OPEB liability, you got an estimated liability for landfill closure, that's being paid down. The GO bond, $1,830,000, paid $246 on that. And then certificate obligations on the utility side, $2,160,000, and the premium is just, when that was issued, there was a premium and we amortized that. So outstanding really is the $1,009,000 and $1,584,000. Any questions? I feel like I'm going too fast, don't I?
That's what it is now.
I need to, I don't know, tell a joke, sing a song. Pretty dry stuff. Y'all are enjoying it, right? Okay, good. I got the crowd with me. It's great. 41 and on in the footnotes is really more description about the retirement plan. It's a lot of information, but it has to do with how we're computing those allocated costs, the portion of the liability, the portion of the cost of the entire statewide plan that's attributed to the city of Muleshoe. So there's a lot of information there. And again, it's just a lot of accounting to record inflows, outflows, assets, and liabilities. And the bottom line is, y'all pay your employees' retirements very well. You're well paid up, and there's no issues there. On 52, we just got the general fund compared to the budget, and that's just perfect. Economic development on 53 compared to budget. 54, 55, 56, and 57 is again more on the changes in pension liability assets, service cost, interest, a lot of information there. Notes on that on 58 and 59. We do have a schedule on 60, page 60, exhibit G1, has to do with your tax collections. You started with a balance of 146, you had a levy of $1,148,000, M&O collections of 924, debt service collections 215, a little bit of adjustments, but you ended up at the end of the year with 141,000. So you had a levy of $1,148,776, and you ended up with less owed to you at the end than you started. So over 100% collection, which is in small rural towns is great. Just really good. And then the last is a letter that just as we're doing the audit, as we're looking at the numbers and we're looking at everything, we're also looking at the internal control that you have here, the adherence to rules and regulations. And in this letter, we're saying, in all of that we looked at, everything that we tested, we found nothing to report to you. So your people are great.
Always a good thing, right?
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. Any questions? I feel like I just blew through a whole lot of stuff.
No, we just basically want to know if we're doing the right thing, is anybody stealing any money?
You are doing the right thing, and no. And everybody's doing a great job.
We're proud of our staff, and
You've got a great staff, great city. And we know that starts at the top with the mayor and the council and goes all the way down. So we can tell it. Anything else I needed to say?
You guys have anything? I appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Thank you all. We do work for you year round. Anytime y'all have questions, need anything, your staff knows to call us, but we really work for y'all, so if you need us, call us.
We appreciate
I
it.
give you Ryan's cell phone number.
Text at 12:30, 1 o'clock there, right?
Yeah. Thank you all. Appreciate you.
Yeah, so you trip back home.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all. Enjoy it. Thank you.
Appreciate it. We will.
Make a motion to receive that audit.
Second. A motion and a second to receive the audit report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
No opposed. Motion carries. Your next item is to consider the cancellation of the May 6, 2023 general election. Can we really consider it, or?
Sure.
Do we have an option?
Well, the law allows for the cancellation of the election when there's some unopposed candidates.
All right.
Austin Athlete, which happens to be here, is the only applicant for place on the ballot in District 3. And Gary Parker is the only applicant for the place on the ballot in District 4. Since they're unopposed, the law says you can cancel it. So it's considered canceling the election.
I move we consider.
I'll second it.
A motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. The next item is to consider the recommendation from the Muleshoe Economic Development Corporation to renew the contract with Leading EDG.
Okay. Mutual EDC has contracted with Leading EDG for several years now. They provide a free service to the community on business, as business facilitators. The economic development met on January 31st and then March the 8th. At their meeting, they agreed to go ahead and renew one more year with Leading EDG. They do come twice a month, and they do meet with local businesses. They have worked with several businesses, not only new potential business, but also existing businesses, trying to help them some of their business plan. And they also serve as a buffer between a business and the city. You know, if it's something that's vital to the city, then they'll approach us and bring it forward. If it's not, then a lot of times they do a little bit better discouraging, so they might want to consider doing something else. But they do provide a good service for us.
What's the amount of the contract?
It's $24,000 a year,
Plus mileage.
plus minus at 65 cents.
And they didn't increase the amount, they didn't increase the price of the contract.
Not this time.
And,
So the EDC board is recommending that council approves that renewal.
I feel like we want to get our service out of it.
Yeah. Make a motion we renew that contract.
A second. A motion and a second to renew the contract with Leading EDG. All those in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carries. All right, item number 5 is to consider resolution R-789-0323, suspending Southwest Public Service Company's proposed effective, is this supposed to be rate?
Right.
On proposed, effective date on proposed rate case.
Yeah. So, as in years past, SDS is requesting an early increase What this resolution does is allows the alliance of excess municipalities to start the process to negotiate with SPS on that rate increase. And, this is a yearly deal. So the proposal rate, we'll suspend it, negotiate, and let a later date come up with an agreement.
I feel like it's almost a month.
Right now, because of fuel costs, there are some surcharges that you're going to see this more often.
Yeah.
So yes, it does feel like almost a monthly deal. Yeah, yes.
I'll make a motion that we pass that resolution.
I'll second it.
Motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next item is to consider resolution R-790-0323, awarding an engineering contract to Parkhill for the Downtown Revitalization Grant.
So the city of Muleshoe solicited proposals for engineering services for the Texas CDBG Downtown Revitalization Program. We had Parkhill and Jake Benoit submit a proposal. Staff scored those. It was council member Albert Kahn, Brian Forrest, Sana Carpenter, and myself. Based on the outcome, we recommend that the contract we have awarded to Parkhill for that particular project.
Make a motion to pass the resolution, award the contract to Parkhill.
Second. Motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. All right, our last item is to receive the financial statement for the month ending February 28th, 2023. I make a motion that we receive the financial statement.
I'll second it.
A motion is second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. And item 8 is administrative reports.
Mayor, the city had a wellness clinic on February 14th. We had 25 employees and independents participate. We do that yearly in hope to allow employees an opportunity to get a physical. This is, some of them, this is the only way they're going to do that. So it's a good thing for us to do that. We have pretty good participation, 25 employees out of 35 is not bad. So, it's a good, the TML Region III Meeting will be on Thursday, March 23rd. And it's going to be on, at the Lubbock Memorial Civic Center, and it's hosted by Visit Lubbock. That is the first of the year TML meeting, regional meeting. If you would like to attend, join us, please let us know. Is there a time, date?
If I could know by the 17th, that would be helpful.
So it is at the Lubbock Memorial Civic Center.
I will not be able to attend.
Thank you.
Just an update on the home grant. Construction has begun on the current home grant.
What address is that at? Or address?
We got 501 is 5th, 514 East Avenue G, and is it 211 or 311? 311.
On West Lake?
Yes.
305.
305 West 11. There's 3 homes that will be constructed at this point. We also, in the process, applications have been submitted and received that are being prioritized for the next round. They are right now submitting paperwork. So we're hoping that hopefully if everything kind of works out in the way it does, we might finish with one and be able to step right into the other.
Awesome.
Now, at this point, I think we're looking at 4 additional houses.
Is one of the ones that's being built right now the one that it took us forever to get things going? And
Yes, there's two of those, yes.
Through those, and so we're finally getting those folks their home built home.
Correct, yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Does the council have any remarks?
Yeah, I know we've already got this home deal working for this year and everything. Is there a way that people can apply like one of these three that burned during the windy? Would they be?
Actually, one of those houses has been, was an applicant prior to fire. That doesn't mean that she gets disqualified. So it's basically, what we do is gonna, the consultants that we hired, they're the ones that prioritize. And we have several applicants, more than one we can help. So what we do is,
Right.
yes, and so we kind
So-
of make sure everybody turns in their stuff.
She doesn't get disqualified, but she doesn't get added points?
She doesn't get bumped up. Unfortunately, no, that's not,
Right,
yeah.
I was just curious.
Right.
I did want to mention maybe, give a thumbs up, kudos, I guess, to the school for making the decision they made this past week on the taxes. And of course, I think that's great, and I just want everybody to realize that they're working for us, the taxpayers, and I appreciate what they're doing, stuff like that. Also, I want to put a plug in here for the senior center. I guess if you read last week's paper or whatever, Carolyn Turner is back on board to submit articles, I think weekly, to the paper. If we have news, she had one last week, and this next week she'll have one on the Vice President, Robert Johnson, and then she's going to kind of look outside to see what she can be writing in her column to the paper. I think that's a good thing. I think we have missed it the past couple of years, missed her activity on that, so I just wanted to plug the senior center and her activity writing those columns. That's all I got.
Anybody else? Those dates we were talking about moving the meeting in May, I think maybe, is there off to talk about that?
About the meeting, yes.
So I think May and June are both going to be important meetings for us. May will be your last meeting, Earl, right?
Yeah, if we expect it to be here in May,
Yes, sir.
because he won't take,
He won't, he'll take over in June.
okay. Yeah,
So I need to,
Well, we'll transfer all that
in May.
in May, yes,
So
sir.
we'll swear him in and he'll take the seat once the meeting starts.
Right. Okay.
and so that's, we're probably going to move that meeting to May the 15th, just so everybody knows. I needed to move that date because of the conflicting schedule. And then I also probably need to move the June meeting. Where were we talking about moving that one to? Was it were we going to go the 5th or the 19th?
Right, and that's an option.
Yeah, does anybody have a preference one way or the other, moving to the 5th or the 19th of June?
June's not gonna be a problem. May, I don't know that I'm gonna be here. We got a trip planned in May, and I can't remember exactly.
Okay. I think the main thing is, I just really need to be here in May, because with Earl coming off, and we won't have a mayor pro tem at that time, but
We will act on that meeting.
yeah, we'll elect one at that meeting and everything, so if you're not here, we'll sign you up. In June, do you guys have a preference towards the 5th or the 19th?
What is that for?
So the meeting would typically be on the 12th, but I'm not going to be available on the 12th either. I had two conflicting dates there, and so we were talking, we kind of set May as we pushed it back to the 15th because that's where we needed it, but talking about the 5th and the 19th for June.
As far far as staff, that 19 will work better.
19th. Is that good with everybody? Austin, would things be all right with you? Yeah. I just wanted to make mention of that, so everybody would know. All right. I think we're adjourned.